TF2 is an old game, but it still manages to keep top 25 on the Steam charts at all times. However, it's a nuanced game, and it can be difficult to get into it when you first start. I want to explain the community, basic gameplay, and a few other concepts through the lens of the average players of 3 different maps. These will be 2-Fort, Badwater, and Process. First on our roster, one of the most popular payload maps, Badwater. Payload is the perfect format for 12v12 mayhem, where our only goal is to push the cart or stop the other guys from doing so. It may sound simplistic, but this is the portion of the game that most of us always have, and always will, enjoy most. Sit back and relax, queue for a match. You throw down a sentry, rocket jump to the point, get a kill or two, then die. You don't care that you died, you're just glad the other guy did as well. There's nothing like just having a casual match of who misses less shots, and being proud of your team for winning, or just ignoring that you lost for the sake of your own fun. Because that's what we're here for. Just some fun, lighthearted competition that all parties can enjoy, win or lose. Now you may hear the term rocket jump back there and have not know what it meant. Well, it's not complicated, I swear. If I shot you with an explosive, you would get sent flying, right? Well, what if I did that to myself in a controlled manner? Hell, I'm God at this point. I appear, I blow some poor soul up, and I leave again. That is, until you realize how complicated this whole blow yourself up thing is. I won't go into detail here for the sake of time, but please check out one of the links below explaining it in depth. There's a whole mini community formed around it, so you'll never run out of guides for the most specific techniques and even certain jumps on some maps. 2-Fort is likely the map you've seen most everywhere. It's the quintessential, yeah, I've heard of it, for TF2. Yet it's not exactly the perfect encapsulation of TF2 like Badwater is. If you join a match of 2-Fort, you'll find many different breeds of friendly players. These include, but are not limited to, Hoovies, Spy Crabs, M3 Sentry Engineers, Drunk Demomen, and many more. You may notice that none of them are shooting each other in this supposed first-person shooter. Well, because of its cartoonish art style, the game lends itself quite well to just goofing off, making your character say funny things, while the whole server collectively giggles behind their monitors, sharing a moment without ever even knowing each other. This, while maybe not being as Robin Walker and Gay Ben intended, it's beautiful in its own right, and should be respected as a real way to play an online video game. Just simple jokes that anyone can enjoy. A fat man says a fake word like pootis, and a Scottish man spontaneously explodes. How can that not be funny? Now, you may know this game for its more casual experience, but there is actually a competitive side. UGC is the primary competitive league running seasons in both North America and Europe. The easiest way to make the game more skill-based is to maximize individual capabilities required. In the case of competitive TF2, this is achieved by limiting the teams to just 6 players, or forcing each team to have only one of each class. This way, one player being bad matters far more than in a standard match. The preferred game mode for competitive is 5 control points, more commonly referred to as just 5 CP. It is a very basic game mode, in which you stand on a point and your spawn moves farther up until you've captured every point. Because of its symmetric nature, it's perfect for a more competitive and unbiased gameplay experience for hardened veterans who want a challenge. One of the most popular maps for this game mode is called Process. It's a relatively vertical map, perfect for rocket jumping and other movement-based mechanics, increasing the required skills to be successful. It's often joked that it's a war-themed hat simulator. This stems from the entire economy that is sprouted from the cosmetics in the game. But because of this economy, it's actually quite easy to get each of your classes decked out with a full set of hats for maybe $10 total. This leads to some of the most diverse self-expression ever seen in a game. These can range from a top hat for 12 cents to an aviator's hat literally on fire for 7,500 keys. If a key is worth approximately $2, that's 15 grand. Anyway, you can be a war hero, a pirate, a high school athlete, or just about anything with how many combinations there are for these things. This is in stark contrast to other games like Fortnite or Overwatch, where you could just have full character skins. While these are still nice, they aren't nearly as potentially cheap, or offer even as close to the amount of possibilities 3 whole slots gives a player. Despite how much I've rambled on about my favorite game of all time, it is my favorite simply due to the immense depth there is to it. There's a lot I skipped out on here: unlockables, subclasses, Valve themselves, community drama, and so much more. Although seeing as it's one of the longest standing games ever, there's obviously lots more content to explore than just this. In fact, I'm willing to bet you've seen a lot of other said content before stumbling across this video, so go ahead and see the beautiful world that TF2 is. Watch the content, read the wiki, but most importantly, play the game.